Hey there, I'm Mastin Kipp, founder of thedailylove.com and author of the book Daily Love Growing into Grace, and welcome to Daily Love TV. So today I want to talk about attracting emotionally unavailable men. Now, the majority of our audience are heterosexual females. However, this video also applies if you're gay, straight, lesbian, does not matter, because I'm going to be talking about universal principles of masculine and feminine energy. For the most part, people watching this video are feminine people who want to attract masculine people. And what's interesting is, what I found, a lot of people in the Daily Love community keep saying, there seems to be so many emotionally unavailable guys. Why do I tend to attract them over and over again? Now, if you're gay or lesbian, when I use the word guys, just know that that could be transported or transformed into the word masculine. So don't worry about the gender, worry about the energy of this conversation, okay? But the question is, why do I seem to be attracting all these emotionally unavailable guys? And I've worked with a lot of clients over the years who have said this to me. And after, 15, 20 minutes of questioning, what I found is that time and time again, I found feminine partners, feminine people, who don't trust A, themselves, and B, either consciously or unconsciously like picking emotionally unavailable partners because they know that those partners are not going to force them to grow, or more importantly, to be vulnerable. So the question you really got to ask yourself is, instead of asking yourself, well, why am I attracting emotionally unavailable guys? Ask yourself, am I really ready to be vulnerable? And if that's the case, if you are ready to be vulnerable, can you have the audacity to trust yourself? Because what happens is that the chemistry of love tends to overshadow or get in the way of what your heart really knows. Now, we get confused. People tend to think that following your heart is some codependent thing that happens that leaves you crushed. But what I teach when I teach heart therapy is people how to literally talk to their heart or their intuition. And your heart is that part of you that knows, you know what? I deserve more than this. There is someone out there for me. And honestly, it's time for me to grow. I'm sick of picking people who don't force me to grow. I'm sick of picking people where I have surface level relationships or only chemical relationships where there's just sex involved. I want to go deeper. So the question isn't, why are there so many emotionally available people? The question is, why am I scared to be vulnerable? And what I found is that the answer to that question usually stems from childhood, where we weren't trained that our emotions are safe, especially if you're a female. What I've seen for the most part, I'm going to make a blanket statement. This does not apply to everybody. It's going to be overgeneralization. But I've seen a lot of clients who are female people, and they, growing up, were raised on how to date by their father. And their father never praised their feminine qualities, never said, you know what, it's okay for you to be emotional. The father always said we want you to go achieve and do and lock down the emotions and move forward. And while there's a very important time and place for that masculine drive forward in work and building businesses and things like that, and women are phenomenal at that, it doesn't set people up for emotionally rich relationships. And that is what we're talking about right now. We're talking about intimacy, we're talking about relationships. And so what we have to learn, especially if you're a female or feminine person who wants a more masculine person, is that your emotions are real, they're valid, and they deserve to be cherished. And when you start to cherish your emotions and know that you're not crazy, there's nothing wrong with you for being an emotional person, all of a sudden you get clarity on the proper partners for you. And really, when you look back at the people that you picked, you realize, oh my goodness, you know what? He may have been handsome, he may have been charming, he may have been mysterious, but the part of me knew that I wasn't going to go deep with this person. And so how do we undo that? Well, first of all, we want to declare what we really want. So if you're ready to really be vulnerable, just declare, you know what? I want to be in a relationship with someone who's real, where I can be vulnerable. And what that requires, generally speaking, is two things. One, trusting yourself. And what I've found, especially with females all over the world, at all my seminars and all my retreats, I've asked woman after woman after woman after woman after woman, how long did it take you to know whether you could trust him or not? How long did it actually take? And the answer I get time and time again, that fast. The female intuition is so dead on. You can tell within an instant, 30 seconds or a minute, whether you can trust someone or not. And so what you want to start to do is trust yourself to pick someone who makes you feel safe. And I don't mean bored. I mean emotionally safe. Like, you know what? I could trust this person. You don't want to make looks, chemistry, sex, passion more important than taking care of your own emotions. Number one. Second thing you want to do, it's called contrary action. So if you've been dating a lot of people who are emotionally unavailable and it hasn't really been working out, contrary action is a very simple idea. It means you do the exact opposite. Chances are, if you're single and looking for someone to be in a relationship with, there are probably guys or people around you right now who are very interested in dating you, but you haven't seen them in that way. You haven't really realized, like, wow, there are people that I could be in a relationship with right now. So I would encourage you, the first thing you would do is you always got the tall, dark, handsome, mysterious guy. Do the opposite. What would you do? What would the opposite be? Are there people around you right now who maybe fit a different criteria, who aren't necessarily just full of mystery, but who you could really have a relationship with? Because when you talk about long-term romance and long-term chemistry and long-term passion, the foundation of that, especially through the feminine partner, is trust and feeling safe and being in a relationship with someone who's also your friend, who you have something in common with. And so I really want to encourage you, if you feel like you're attracting emotionally available people, to really start to get still and listen. We have Over the Daily Love SoundCloud, I'll post this below the video, a link to our heart therapy meditation, which teaches you how to talk to your heart. And then on top of that, have the courage to say no to something just because it's exciting. And trust me, when you get into a relationship with someone who makes you feel safe emotionally, it can be just as, if not more exciting than before. And then the other thing I want to encourage you to do, just as a recap, is contrary action. Do the opposite of what you normally would do when it comes to dating and romance. Sound good? So you might be watching this video over on Facebook or over on YouTube. I'd encourage you to head on over to thedailylove.com, and below this video, leave a comment and let me know, how are you going to trust yourself? How are you going to be willing to be vulnerable? And what would your contrary action be when it comes to dating and romance? And if you're in a relationship and you've either done this, where you've either trusted yourself or taken contrary action and it's worked out, I'd love for you to head on over to thedailylove.com and leave a comment below this video so you can encourage people, because together I really do believe that we can grow to who we're meant to be. I look forward to reading you and seeing all your comments down below. And as always here at Daily Love TV, my deepest wish for you is to find courage, get out there, take action, and make it real. We'll see you next week.